Yo, test it then. It's me, Madness KMA. So I did a post recently, or last month or so, about missing dub plates that I now found. Some of those were the gems of the dub plates that I would always carry in my bag. Some of them are only one-away exclusives that got cut from Music House and JTS, which was the go-tos back in the day for the dub cutters. And I also mentioned in that post as well that I sold my House and Garage vinyl collection. The whole thing's gone, right? Including some of my jungle selection as well, that's gone, right? But within those, when selling those, I always got approached to say, if you're selling your dub plates, please let me know. I'll buy the dub plates off of you and, you know, I'll spend some good money. Some people are offering all 5 bills for one of my dub plates. One of them in question, the main one, which is a 1994 cut of the original dub plate of Cape Fear by KMA. Now this dub plate was found in storage and it still holds its weight. Sounds great, looks great, right? 1994. It wasn't even called Cape Fear back then. It was called What I Need Dub. Look, it's all, you know, gone, right? I've reposted the original dub copy on my YouTube channel, Madness KMA, MADD KMA. That's the music channel, which we're getting the subscribers up to 1,000 plus before February, just round the corner. That's the multimedia digital channel. So I'm putting this out there, right, to say this dub plate, somebody offered me 5 bills for. Can you believe that, right? I can't part with it because it's like a baby to me, and it's like my firstborn music production alongside my partner 6 of KMA on the original KMA format when it was the two of us as a duo, right? And just looking at this dub, the memories that come along with it is just amazing, because first of all, for those that know the official release as Cape Fear, it broke so many boundaries, right? Why? Because there was only 4 House and Garage around at the time. 1994, the game was changed when we produced this track, right? The intro dub. Let me give you a bit of a background story. So the intro dub came about from me. I've told this story many times over the years when I was as a budding DJ in the early 90s, coming off of being an MC. My mentor at the time was the Captain LSD. Now LSD had dub plates and intro dubs, custom dubs coming from the dancehall era, which is what I build my foundation from, about energy, knowing how you can be different to the other DJs and selectors out there. So you wanted to have a custom dub with your name in it. Nobody had that in House and Garage in the early 90s. So what I did was I had a jingle sung by 6 of KMA. You got what I want, you got what I need, it's the madness. I had it on tape cassette, and that's what I used to play on my Freak FM shows. And the popularity of it became so popular, whereas people will come along and, you know, in the clubs, they would come by, you got what? And I'd be like, right, man them, you know, why for that? But they would come along and sing it. Ladies would come up and sing that and say, oh, loving, you know, just loving what I do and how I performed on the radio. So when it came down to making a custom dub and our first production together as the duo, as KMA, it was inevitable that I needed vocals with my name in it, right? So I said to my brother, let's use that vocal because that's the most popular. Everyone sings it. Where I was living at the time in East London, Walthamstow, and based around Leytonstone and East London, of course, North London, originally born and bred. I'd be like in Walthamstow Market and people will walk past me and start singing the song to me, the jingles, right? And I'd be like, rah, this is one I've got to put into a track. So after hearing LSD play his intro dubs, and then I've said this story many times before in Pirate Chronicles web series, it was a world dance and I heard Mickey Finn play his intro dub, rinse out Mickey, Clark Finn, rinse out Mickey. And I was like, yeah, I need something like that, but that's a bit hardcore in House and Garage. Let's think about this. 1994, what was the House and Garage that was being played? Victor Simonelli, Todd Edwards, Masters at Work, these type of productions and outfits that we would love. And, you know, this is what we played and bust the dance with vocal tracks that had the dub versions on it that we'll flip it over and get the dub versions, you know, all the Grant Nelson stuff and that type of thing was running the place, right? So I wanted to bring a jungle influence into garage. 1994, I said to my brother, right, let's do this combination, and came up with the concept of what I want to put in there, which is the jingles, right? So we put that down, and we wanted an intro at the beginning to be a mysterious, long, stretched out intro like they do in jungle in the early days, to create an atmosphere, a vibe for the crowd to know who's coming up next. It's madness. And the vocals said it all. How do we create the dub plate that's going to be a monster in the venue? And that's what we did, because we created it without even knowing, but we knew the jungle influence was what we wanted. The only one that had a type of jungle influence at that stage in 94 in garage was Antil Mob. They were the originals that had that jungle warring bass lines, and people would know that 4-track EP that really bust the place in a different way. So I wanted something that would enhance my DJ set from time I press the button. It's war, it's vibe, it's, you know what's about to happen with a custom dub plate. And the vocals was laid down on it. He re-sung the vocals, put it on there. You got what I want, you got what I need, it's the madness, right? So we needed a drum loop. Where did we go to? One of the forefathers of house and garage for UK, Grant Nelson. Big him up, hail and salute. You got to say that, because he is one of the forefathers of house and garage, turning from the change of the US sound, right? So we used 24-hour experience, got myself together, that prominent loop. We sampled that, but I said we can't use a loop from a next guy and just use it straight and clean, because that's just piracy, right? You're just copying a man's style. So Six of KMA, he said to me, right, let's program it in such a way like LSD showed us in his studio. They did it with hardcore and jungle. So that was what it was about. The drum chopping pattern was a jungle drum and bass format of that era in 94, and that's what we did. We chopped up the loop, and it was the certain way that we extended the loop, because it was Cubase that we was using at the time on Atari, right? So we had to draw everything in and just do it off beat, and that's how we made it off key. But the drum pattern was kind of like, wow, it was kind of breakbeat-ish, and that's what we wanted, but not too much, right? The bass line was created as well. We had a Novation bass unit that we used, a keyboard, and when playing the bass line, I knew what I wanted to hear, but I'll only know it once it's played and I heard it, to feel it in the studio in East London. On that day, something magical was born. Two-note bass line. Do, 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 do. Woo! Did you hear that, Six? My God, let's do that again. Do, 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 do. What does this knob do up here? An oscillator filter. Oh my days! Six, that's what we want. That's what we're doing. Do, 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 do. Like the sound man that I grew up to, you know. And that's how it was created, basically. Six played the chords on it, and to give it that melodic feel towards the end of the, I think it was like the second breakdown, towards the end of the outro of the track. But just to say, you know, after all these years, nearly 30 years later, and that track still gets high recommendation and validation from all house and garage fans, DJs, artists, producers. They would always say, oh, madness, KMA. Cape Fear, right? Chaotic Madness, which was the second release after Cape Fear. But 1994, I cut this dub plate, and it's the only dub plate that I ever cut when it came to Cape Fear, because Music House, you know, big up the whole entire team at Music House from back in the day. RIP to Leon. And I tell you what, they cut this dub plate for me, and it lasted forever. Nearly 30 years old, a man offered me $5 bills for this, and I said, nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. So we had a drum and bass tune that Six produced on the other side. Six, you would remember this one. Black Latinos, Bounce Like a Cat. Come on. Anyway, and then the other side, we said, okay, we're gonna cut What I Need Dub, which was what it was called in 1994. It's so old, I don't know if you can see it, right? But it even said, no, you probably can't see it. It's really smudged out. My original name, or another alias to my name, was obviously Madness KMA. That was born with this dub plate in 94. But then they used to call me, my MCs, Rankin and Secret Agent, used to call me the Dark Bubbler because I had a certain underground vibe. If you listen back to some of the tapes of my freak shows from back then, I had a dark vibe around me, but I would always bring an element of light with it. So it all stems from the jungle side of me, and coming from the hardcore jungle field, stepping into house and garage. Then I didn't want to bring too much roughage that would, you know, upset the dance and people will walk away. So it had to be a natural progression at the time, and that's what it did. So I haven't played this, I've cleaned it up a bit, and I haven't played this in many years. And I'm gonna play it now with you, and let's hear how it sounds crispy and how good it really feels to have that analog type sound that we created on Cubase in 1994, the first ever full-on jungle influence in house and garage, which changed the game, and some will agree.
You got what I want, you got what I need, it's the madness, the madness. You got what I want, you got what I need, it's the madness, the madness. You got what I want, you got what I need, it's the madness, the madness. You got what I want, you got what I need, it's the madness, the madness. Madness, that's what I need. You got what I want, you got what I need, it's the madness, the madness. You got what I want, you got what I need, it's the madness, the madness.
So in conclusion, it still stands strong today. 1994, Music House done an amazing job, and I must say, any dub that I've had cut from Music House still stands the testament of time. Now, I did have someone from JTS, but it was more so North London that I would go across to Holloway Road, just up the road there. I had good working relationships with distribution companies, so I would go, like Mo's Music was one of my main ones that I would go, living in Walthamstow at the time, so it was just up the road round the corner. She used to hook me up. Big up Dion, long time no see, and Mo's Music himself, big up Mo, and they used to look after me all the time with the most exclusive TPs, the test presses before the actual pressings would come out, right? So I'll get the advance all the time, which is another label that I got as a promo king back in the freak days. Some Secret Agent labeled me that, and I used to come across with a whole load of, I didn't need to cut dubs, do you know what I mean, because I had that there. It was only KMA Production stuff or some exclusive bits that I would cut from Timmy Magic of the Dream Team, and you know, we was all close networking together at the time. So any dub that they had, that Timmy produced for the Dream Team, I would cut that on the dub as well, and there you go. Or used to give me the dub plate already cut from Music House or JTS, or when I would get down to JTS to cut the dub plates, then he would say, oh, there's one here from Timmy, he left this one for you, and you know, a list of other handful of DJs that used to have the exclusive. So, you know, it makes that much of a sense all these years later when you look back at it to say, wow, 1994 that dub plate was, and look, it sounds crispy, but I love that authentic sound of when you put the needle on the record and let the record spin. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, how does it sound to you? Sounds good? 1994, a bit of history of Cape Fear there, when it was called What I Need on the dub plate from 1994. Wow. To have been part of House and Garage movement from its inception in the early days of the 90s right through. And of course, you know, 30 plus years later, I'm still here and people still thankfully know some of the works that I've done in the House and Garage scene. So anyway, until next time, Mad React series on Pirate Chronicles. Please like the video, leave your comments down below. If you remember me playing that dub in a club, what did it mean to you? Do you remember the track before it transitioned in 95, 96? It got released on Urban Beats. We got bumped. Anyway, it's a long story. That's another story to tell. But thanks for tuning in. Until next time, get those subscribers up to over 1,000 before February 2024, which is round the corner. We are now in December 2023. Merry Christmas, season greetings and all that. I'm out. Bless.